what's going on. So I want to talk about two really common things. First one is temperature. So I talked about our interoception. So our interoception is our internal sense of what's going on with our body. So our interoception is how we pick up our internal body signals. So data that's coming from our own body. This is also compromised in trauma. Sometimes we over-respond to our interoception, sometimes we under-respond to our interoception. But we can internally pick up things like our heartbeat, our hunger, so sensations of hunger, sensations of thirst, sensations of, do I need to go to the loo? Like, am I bursting for a wee? Have we hurt ourselves? Did we cut our finger? How quickly are we aware of our pain? If no one has tended to our pain, we may need to dull that physical pain. So we might not respond to pain receptors as much. And our temperature is also something that's really important. So I notice when we have transitions in our house, so one of my daughters, first of all, runs very hot. She runs hotter than her sister. And when she gets flustered or when she's trying to do something that she needs to persist with, I often help her by taking off a layer of clothing. She finds some things frustrating and then she gets more worked up about it and she gets hotter. And so then she gets that sort of tends to drive more aggravation. So I've noticed that if I really help her by taking off a layer of clothing or helping her notice she's getting hot, that helps her tolerate the task at hand better because she's more comfortable in her body. I notice that I get hot when we get in transitions, especially when we're all crowded in the hallway, and I can get really kind of short, or this word I use, which is ratty, which is kind of like, I don't know, kind of grumpy and irritable very quickly when I get hot, because trying to all get ready in a small space, that I find overwhelming because I feel crowded and my body temperature rises and then I get more irritable. So I have found spreading us out really helpful. I have found opening the front door really helpful. So small things that you can become aware of, or actually just spreading out and getting ready in the kitchen so we don't all have to crowd and put our shoes on in the hallway. And because otherwise what can happen is that every time you make a transition out of the house, everyone loses it purely because the sensory environment is overwhelming. And within the context of your family, you'll have different sensory needs. So you might have someone who really needs a lot of sounds, so say if you've got someone who likes to make a lot of their own sounds because they are under responsive, so I'm back on the auditory thing, that might be really jarring for you or for one of your other family members. So if you've got a child who really likes to wear their ear defenders all the time because they find sound overwhelming, if they've got a sibling who's constantly like drumming or like making jarring singing sounds, that's just going to make life kind of hellish all the time because of those competing sensory needs. So notice what happens in your house. Like, what do some people have a high threshold? Do some people have a low threshold? What are they seeking out? And we can do this in a loving, judgmental way. We all process sensory information differently. Yes, we may have had our sensory systems, like the processing of our sensory integration maybe have been challenged by trauma, and the way our sensory systems developed may have been impacted by trauma, but that doesn't mean we need to put any value judgments on any of this. So really be kind of try and just remove any moral judgment or any shaming or criticizing. Everyone just has different sensory requirements. We can work to shift that and make experiencing life easier. So my girls, life has got much easier for them after sensory integration therapy, because it's easier to exist in the world. It's less jarring for them. Sometimes I think I should go for sensory integration therapy. Maybe I would find some things less jarring.